This is shocking for the Chicago Bulls as Coby White was listed as third on the most improved player award list, and also Ayo Dosunmu not being listed on the sixth man of the year award rankings. We're going to be talking about what this means for both players and also to what this means for the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season. This is your host Rico Greenhowe, and this is another episode of Bulls Digest. And before we jump into today's hot topic, I want to go ahead and share a special message from the sponsor of today's video. That's going to be Fume. Have you heard that the flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits led by the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story. For a limited time, use my code DIGEST to get your free topper. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfume.com and use the code DIGEST, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. Go to tryfume.com/digest or scan the QR code and use the code DIGEST to get your free Fume base when you order your journey pack today. All right, so we are talking about Coby White, and we're also talking about Ayo. This stems from an article that was on ESPN where they were predicting awards, and we'll start with Coby White. They have him picked for third in the most improved award-winning aspect, and so they're thinking that he's third there. And the interesting thing about it is he is tied for first with Victor Wembanyama. And so I thought that this was particularly interesting to me. I think that between Coby White and Ayo, I think that those two players, in my opinion, have been the most disrespected Chicago Bulls. I think that a lot of people talk about Modest Buzelis. I think a lot of people are really excited about Josh Giddey. They're excited about Kenny Lofton Jr. and a lot of other players, but not too many players, or not too many people, are talking about Coby White and Ayo, who I think are set to maybe take the biggest jumps for the Chicago Bulls with the exit of DeMar DeRozan and then the possible exit of Zach Lavine here. And so starting with Coby White, I think that there is a real chance that he can absolutely win this award. I know it's kind of an interesting situation because he is entering his, fifth, sixth year, whatever it is. But and you would think that this award would probably be reserved for those players that are in their first, 3 seasons or whatnot. But I think that there is a real opportunity for Coby White to take another leap. I think now that DeMar DeRozan is gone, let's start with the fact that there was once upon a time, Coby White actually led players in plus minus in the clutch, all right? And so I think that that absolutely could translate into this year's Bulls. We're already picked by ESPN to win 30 games, and I think that if we're going to win 30 games, it's going to be because of Coby White going ahead and taking that next leap. And I think right now he's averaging 19 points. He's averaging about 4 rebounds a game and 5 assists a game. And so I think that there is a real opportunity for him to take the leap of going up to about 24, 25 points a game. I think that he absolutely could be in the 6 to 8 assist ratio. And I also think that he can even get some more rebounds at times. I think that, with him driving to the basket and things like that, I think he's going to have an opportunity to get some putbacks and stuff like that. So I think he's going to get up to about maybe 6, 7 rebounds. And so that suggests that he's going to be a real stat stuffer. And that there are going to be times where he's absolutely going to maybe run into flirting with a triple-double at times as well. And so I think that the fact that Coby White is going to be very impactful on games down the stretch and maybe taking over in the clutch and maybe being known as one of the best clutch players in the league, possibly, I think that that's going to elevate him just enough to go ahead and get the most improved player award award for this season. And I just think that, if you're looking at a player that is on the fringe of being an all-star and possibly a franchise player, that suggests to me that, Coby White should get this award. I thought he should have got it last year. No disrespect to Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers. I mean, he was absolutely brilliant, but I just think with Coby White and the leap that he took, I mean, we thought for a little bit of time that we weren't sure if Coby White was going to still be with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, he was just coming off the bench. He wasn't necessarily depended on like that. Weren't sure if he was going to be dependable like that, but he absolutely turned into a player that I think the Chicago Bulls are depending on, not just for this season, but also for the future. I'd have to think that if they're looking for the future, he is a building block for the Chicago Bulls. And just the list of the players that are ahead of him, Jalen Williams, and you have Victor Wembanyama. I think that both of those players maybe are set for improvement. I think you can argue that with Jalen Williams, especially now that Josh Giddey is not there. He is still going to be behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So I think that, yes, there is the fact that he can take a leap for sure. I'm not sure if it's going to be something that is going to push OKC over the top. And then with Victor Wembanyama, yes, with him taking a leap, the Spurs are going to be better. And I think between Victor Wembanyama and Coby White, that's where I think the discussion really heats up, because I think that both of those players are really going to help their teams in the win column, right? And so I think that that's going to stand out a lot. But, I think that, again, Coby White, in my opinion, I feel like is very disrespected or really underrated when it comes to these things. And so that's the first thing. And so next, I want to talk about Ayo, okay? And I want to talk about Ayo not being on the Sixth Man of the Year award rankings. And I know that this has a lot to do probably with the Chicago Bulls as a whole, because nobody really knows what they're going to do with their roster and their lineups. But the fact that we have not moved on from Zach Lavine and we have Josh Giddey, I just talked about how good Coby White could possibly be. That suggests that Ayo is going to be one of the first players off the bench, all right? And so I don't think that that's a bad thing, but I think that he absolutely should be in the running now for the Sixth Man of the Year. And I think that he's a player that reminds me of several players. I'm thinking of our very own Ben Gordon that played for us and won the award. I'm thinking of Lou Williams, who won it multiple years, played for the Clippers. I think he finished with Atlanta. And then I'm also thinking of Bobby Jackson from back in the day, Darrell Armstrong, who used to play for Orlando. He played for Doc Rivers and that team. These are players that I think just it's a combination of players that Ayo reminds me of offensively and defensively out here. And I think that he might be a lot better than those players defensively that I've listed. He can pretty much do it all. I talked about the fact that he has become very effective with just pulling up off the dribble and shooting three-pointers. I've talked about how much better he's gotten as a catch-and-shoot player. And then the fact that he's able to get to the basket and he is a willing playmaker. And I have combined his numbers with Jimmy Butler, which suggests that they are right on par with what Jimmy Butler has done in the past. And this is the year where Jimmy Butler took off in year 4. And I know that Ayo is coming off the bench, but I have to think that he is going to help the Chicago Bulls win some games this year. And I think it's not just going to be Coby White, but I think it is also going to be Ayo as well. And those players look like they are ready to lead this team and they're ready to take a step forward. They love the mentorship that they got from DeMar DeRozan. They talk about that all the time. And I think that these two players are taking it serious. And I think that they are going to take another leap in whatever role it is. And so I'd have to assume that, yes, Ayo should be on this list. And so when we take a look at this list, I mean, it is a tough list. And you're asking yourself, well, who would you possibly take off this list? I mean, it's questionable. For me, I'm thinking maybe Norman Powell, who might be thrusted into the starting lineup for the Clippers now that Paul George is gone, the fact that Kawhi could go down. I'm not sure I too much believe about TJ McConnell. I think that there's a possibility that maybe he takes a step back. Those are two players that I would say initially you could probably take a look at, but I think that Ayo is going to be right there in the running. And I think that both players are going to help the Chicago Bulls statistically get back into that play-in situation. You're looking at last season where they finished 39-43. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I turn it over to you, the viewers. Do you feel like both Ayo and Coby White have been somewhat disrespected, right, and overlooked this offseason? Do you feel like Coby White is going to win the most improved player of the year award? Do you feel like Ayo should be on the Sixth Man of the Year award rankings here? So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I definitely appreciate you out there for going ahead and slam dunking on that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Want to let you know that 66.9% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel, so please make sure you subscribe. That means a lot to me as we try to reach 5,000 subscribers before the NBA season starts. Want to go ahead and give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Fume, for going ahead and putting sponsorship on this particular video. And I just want to say, look, even though I feel like Coby White and Ayo are disrespected, I'm still saying go Bulls, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.